And we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we are bringing balance to the world one household at a time. And guess what? Today, y'all are in for a serious treat. When I say a serious treat, you're talking about a man that's making waves throughout the whole world. He is bringing some significant fire to the universe. It is Chris V. Ray, and I'm excited to have you here today. How are you today, President Chris Ray? How are you?
I'm good. I love the bringing the fire. I love bringing fire and bringing waves. I love that. Thank you.
That's a good thing. It is a good thing, because a lot of times people are really trying to make impact, but really are we being as impactful as we think we're being, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, you're actually walking the walk and talking the talk and making a difference in a lot of people's lives. So I'm really glad to have you here today.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And besides, it gives me a chance to take a break.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing. Everybody do not disturb right now. I'm on this good show, The Kim Jacobs Show, right?
That part
right there. Listen, everybody, I want to make sure as I introduce my special guest, it is a long bio. So I'm not going to say every piece of the bio, but I do want to let you all know that Chris V. Ray was born in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and has spent formidable years in Spring Lake, North Carolina. He graduated from high school as a track and field All-American, attended East Carolina University on a full athletic scholarship. And as a student leader, he was known for taking the initiative of addressing racial inequality at a young age, y'all. So this started early on. He's often recognized by university leaders for working to make the campus a more open and diverse epicenter of learning. And he has had military experience, you name it. He studied with William and Mary School of Law. He's been elected as the youngest member of the Virginia delegation to the United States Electoral College. And I'm skipping through, but I'm telling you, he has been elected as the 36th international president of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And he has also been tapped by the Board of Trustees of Barber-Scotia College as the 20th president to lead the resurgence of one of America's oldest historical Black colleges. And he's also somebody's daddy, y'all. So he is definitely a family man also. So glad to have you here, Chris V. Ray.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wow. Yeah, whenever someone says all of those things, and I hear it whenever I'm around or speaking or whenever I'm being introduced, I really sit back sometimes and I say, man, all God. I don't say, I mean that, nothing but God. And just thank you. I'm glad to be here. I see the work that you're doing and telling these stories. And I love the conversations around balance in life. And, it's not easy. It is absolutely not easy. So just the mere fact that you're doing it matters. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. So now that we've done all of our, I love you back, like all of that. We're going to get into some conversation here, because it's so much and it's a robust discussion that we can have. But I wanted to kind of start with the fact that your upbringing really probably helped shape the man and the leader that you are today. So if you could just take us back on where it all began for you back in St. Thomas and then Spring Lake as well.
Yeah, so my grandmother raised me. My mom left me with my grandmother. I was like 4 months old or 5 months old, and I was with her very, very early. And I was with her until I walked out of her house at 18 years old to go to college. And my grandmother had 8 kids, so I like to think that I was her ninth child. She treated me as such. She had 6 boys, 2 girls, and just add me into the mix. And as I say, the rest is history. But my grandmother played no games, was very, very serious. She had a lot of practice with her own kids. And so by the time she got to me, she knew what to say and what to do and
Right.
how to throw up that backhand if you need be. And um, she was just an amazing human. She gave me my grounding in my faith. Of course, being in the church and growing up and understanding that that's the base. Um, uh, but then I also saw her heart of service. My great grandmother, her mother, my grandmother was her caregiver in her latter years of her life, and so I was a part of that. My great grandmother had she had Alzheimer's, so but she was bedridden, so it was so it, you know
Mm.
we were able to. It wasn't as difficult as someone who's able to move around who
Right.
having memory loss, but there were a lot of things that we had to do for my great grandmother in her latter years, and so that required that you had to have a heart of service to do it,
Yes.
because as all of us may have, we have family members, and some family members don't want that responsibility of
That's
their
right.
aging parent. That's just truth. But my grandmother took that on. But I also saw my grandmother step up for her kids, the ones who did was doing well, and those who weren't doing well. So I just was an observer of seeing her heart of service, and I think that when I think back to my life, and when people say, well, why do you have such a big heart? Why do you do so much? That was my example, my first example. So
Wow. And I'm interested in knowing because I had the opportunity of having some time with my great grandmother,
mhm.
and I believe that that really helped shape who I am today as well, Chris. And so I wonder, with you having that experience of watching your grandmother care for your great grandmother, which meant that both your grandmother and your great grandmother were alive under your while
Yeah,
you've been here on
yeah.
this earth, and you had the blessing of spending that quality time. What was that like for you? Because I would like to hear your take
Oh
on that.
man. Well, uh, as a male, right, and growing up in a home full of women, um, I will tell you that I learned a lot about women. I learned a lot about the challenges that they were experiencing. I mean, you got to think. My grandmother was born in the 30s, and so my great grandmother, well, of course, was born, in the early 1900s,
Yeah.
or like right at about
Mhm.
1899.
So the slavery time. They
1904, I think, is when my grandmother was born. My great grandmother was born,
right.
and so we have these stories, right? And just a lot of wisdom. I used to love the saying that my great grandmother used to tell me, boy, I done forgot more than you'll ever learn, right? And she ain't never lied. But then there was this sense of connection with the family and the importance of connecting and passing down, and uh, um, um, but then there was the lessons of someone in the family got to get it right so that we can change the trajectory of the family,
Mm,
you know and
yeah.
so that was always a messaging, because I had a couple of uncles. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, right? And
Mhm.
so that means that the family was stuck. And so it didn't come until I came along, and was one of the first ones to go to college in the family to kind of really move the needle. And then there was my uncle, who's now a 3-star general, who was my grandmother's last son, who really just took it to a whole nother level of engagement. But those women poured inside of me more than I could.
Mhm.
And of course, when you're in the midst of it, you don't
Right.
realize it, right, until later on.
Mm,
And but it was watching uh, how they navigated life, and knew what the limitations were, but understood that we could still push the boundaries of those limitations if you just believe. And so that's where I got this whole theme about believing, and believing in what could be next, believing in what is possible, believing in those women, man. They were amazing.
That's good. And so that helped you because you went on to wear a lot of different hats. So though that base of the leadership and just having that good foundation probably helped catapult you into some of the other areas that you decided to say there are no limits to what I can do.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not, because in my opinion, based on what I was reading and learning about you, is you've been an athlete, a soldier, you've been a lawyer, a mayor, now president of Barber-Scotia College. So I would like to know how you feel their leadership has been able to help mold you into shape you into who you are today.
Yeah. So my grandmother used to tell me stories about my great grandmother, how she was the. So we grew up in, I was, from the Caribbean. So we my grandmother's and my great grandmother, we're from an island called Anguilla in,
Okay.
in the Caribbean, right? And so she would tell me stories about how, and not just her, but other people in the family would talk about how smart my great grandmother was, and she would be the person um, that people would come to on the island to make a decision. Like she was like Solomon, right? Like this is happening. What do you think? And she would give advice, I mean, she said that people will come from all over the island for her to arbitrate things for them because of just the way her mind worked. She was the first woman to drive a car on the island, right?
Get
Yeah, this is my great grandmother, first woman to drive a car on the island. So so there was this belief
it.
that really we can do things, right? We
Mm.
can make things happen, and she was able to put that inside of me as a seed. And of course, so cliche, Chris, you can be anything you put your mind to.
Right.
You know, I hear that all the time. But I messed around and actually believed it,
Mm.
right? I messed around and believed it. And so at some point in my life, I realized that, oh man, if I really put my mind to anything, I can really do anything that I want to do. And if you do it well enough, people will give you the opportunity to either keep on doing it or do something else.
That's good.
And that is exactly what has happened for me. But it was those stories of her, and then my grandmother. This was an amazing woman who ended up, and in her end of her years, I mean, she ended up raising 8 children, basically, really on her own, right?
9.
Yeah, 9. You
You.
throw me up in the mix, right? And 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 it took leadership, to continue to run that household, to show up for her kids, to address the issues of the day, even though she was walking that road by herself, right?
Right.
I just got a different found respect for her and that strength that it takes to be able to do that, right? That's so when so I'm always admire women who don't allow life to, even though life be life, and they don't let life them,
That's good.
right?
Right. That y'all should be typing some of these things in the comment section. Just because life be life and don't let life you.
That's right. Come
That's
on,
profound.
come on.
That is profound.
Yeah, yeah.
Because life really does be life. But when you have the opportunity to see this beautiful island beautiful island, and imagine there are a lot of people there. But your grandmother, you said your grandmother was the person that started driving a car?
Yep, she was the first. She was the first woman to drive a car on the island of Anguilla. Yep.
And that's Anguilla, y'all. I found that picture. I was like, that right there speaks volumes when you're able to put a picture to what you're saying, because it could have been anybody else that was a trailblazer in that situation, but here she was.
And it was her. And so she was this. My grandmother used to always say, and even my great grandmother said that if she had opportunities in life, she would have been a lawyer because she just had that mind. And then her husband, he was a businessman, right? Owned a lot of property, bought a lot of the property on the island. So for a very long time, my family was very influential on the island. Real estate was a big deal for us, and everyone knew, the Websters. That's our family's name, and so I believe that that's where the mindset of being a business person came from, right? Because I knew that there were examples out there of folks in the family. He had passed away. He got struck by lightning. Ironically, my great grandfather did, and had got struck by lightning. And but he was a scion of a businessman, and everyone knew who he was. on the island, and just was huge business figure. And so I like to think that some of those traits, I'm carrying on, in on what I've done as far as as how I've moved in life thus far.
Wow. Now, all of the different roles that you have held in great leadership, which one would you say you enjoyed the most? I know that's like, that's a good one, right?
Oh no, I
And
can't
to say,
say that. They all have a special place.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were
Oh,
going to
they
say
all
that.
have a special place. Like on the political side, right? I mean,
Mm,
um, if I ever ran for public office again, I don't think that I will always love being the mayor, right? Because when you're the mayor, you are the closest to the people. And if a citizen calls and says, here, and I remember a story, distinctly. Um, the garbage truck had picked up this lady's trash can, and when they put it down, they crushed it or something like that, and she was
right.
devastated. She called me, called the mayor, and I said, "Don't worry, we got you." And they went and delivered her, a new can, and she called back and she said, "Thank you, mayor. We appreciate it so much." Like that's the closest to the people. When you start moving up the chain, and then you're in the legislature, you got to wait for the bill to pass, and you got to figure out what you're gonna do, who you're gonna, what you're gonna cut, all before the policy eventually trickles down to impact the people that you need, right? And that,
Mhm.
and I mean, and even though we've had some amazing legislators throughout history that have, the person who came up with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, thank you for those individuals that have
Right.
come up with programs that have helped millions of people. But that lady needed her trash can fixed right then and there.
Bottom line, I
Bottom
need
line.
this kind of help the way I need this kind of help,
That's right.
not
And
just
so
generic.
so I love being the mayor in that regard. And of course, being the international president of Phi Beta Sigma had its thing, and now I'm learning. I love being in the military. I mean, it was just a whole nother world, a whole nother life that I lived, and then taking soldiers to war and bringing them all back safely, and
I
that
found some pictures back here.
that was a great day when I turned in all my stuff at CIS and was like, this is it. I am retiring. And I was like, I am done. But I love that time period of my life, and it was. And now this whole new role as being the president of a college, it's like everything that I've done
Mhm.
has prepared me for this moment.
So
Everything.
let me. I know I just interrupted. Go ahead, finish up
No, no,
everything.
no, no. That's go ahead.
No, the reason I'm asking is because I'm wondering if everything as it was happening along your journey, was it really, in your opinion, preparing you for where you are today?
Oh my
Was
gosh, no, no. I didn't even. This wasn't even on my things to do list. It wasn't even on my. This was not on my things to do list, right? I would say,
interesting.
now I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that. Oh, one time, a long time ago, I thought about a college presidency, but it was just one of those like, that'll never happen. But I think I said, well, I said I can run a college if that, but it wasn't like this was a master plan that was hatched in the halls of power.
Right.
That, to one day that I would. No, it was. I was not thinking about being the mayor. I mean, being a college president. I just remember one time there was an opening at an HBCU, and I was
Okay.
like, I wouldn't mind. I should apply. I would. But that was years ago, and
Right.
I wasn't even. You know, and then
Mm,
but I will say now when I look back on my life, right, and all the things that encompasses what this college needs in
mhm.
its current state. Yes, you need someone who has government experience because we have issues and challenges with the government, and I have relationships to be able to navigate through this. Yes, we have some legal things that we need to address, and so having a legal mind helps in that regard. Yes, having a business background mattered because There's a lot of business opportunities and deals that we have to connect when you talk about building a company. And yes, being in the military was the right thing to do, because the military decision-making process has allowed me to build an organization to be able
Yeah.
to execute a mission that
Mhm.
I know that so many people before me have attempted to do, but just couldn't put the building pieces together. It all came together based off of, my background for this
Yes.
moment in time for the college.
That's interesting because then basically you're pulling bits and pieces from
Oh,
each piece of your journey
oh,
that makes you even more effective and more efficient and even a better leader as a result of your discipline, your
so,
knowing how to lead people because of your being a mayor, all of these
I, and,
athletes. How do we
and
run this race and make sure we really running it with
happened. Yeah.
vigor?
And so I always say to people, when you think about where you are in your life right now, and you're like, this is a mess, there is blessings in the mess.
Yes.
Actually, a lot of people don't realize that, because it's within the mess that
Right.
you are learning about yourself, your strength, your
Yes.
depth, your or your inability to deal with certain things. It's in your mess
That's good.
that you are able to look at other people and look at their characteristics and what they're all about. It's in your mess that your eyes are actually the most wide open, because it's about survival. And so when you're surviving, you looking around like, that when you're in your mess. But because when you're in the blessing state and the blessings are happening, well, you kind of like, I'm good.
Right.
Just I'm not paying attention to what's going on because you're being blessed and the blessings are allowing you to do your thing. So it's in your mess that you're getting forged for whatever it is that actually is the true assignment.
That's good. That's
Uh,
good. And so anybody, it sounds like, in my opinion, in hearing your story, because it's not so necessarily orchestrated and this was my major plan, anybody can have the ability to dream and
oh,
to. So what advice would you give someone that may be watching today that's like, I don't know where I'm going in life, what direction? How,
yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Yeah, because number one, we've all been there, right?
Right.
Questioning this road that we're on. Number one, I tell my mentees this, and I tell anyone who will listen. First of all, you got to stay on the road. It's easy to get off the road.
I'm typing that. Stay
Yeah,
on the road. Somebody type this.
yeah. It's easy to get off the road. It's easy to say, you know what? I'm gonna pull over right here.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna sit right here. Whatever will be. Right? Um, but you got to stay on the road and you got to keep moving forward, because you literally do not know what's over the horizon if you don't keep moving forward.
Yes.
So had I stopped
Mm.
when the first major disappointment came in my life, I wouldn't be on here with you right now,
Mm.
right? Because I'll still be on the side of the road, back in that chapter of my life.
Mm.
And so my advice to folks is you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward, and allow the process to take shape. Man, if you just don't give up, man, if you just don't give up, the the journey will be more extraordinary than you can imagine. It's just that we allow life to beat us up so much,
Yes.
and we allow so many outside influences to dictate our emotional capacity.
That's
What they think about me,
right.
what they're hearing about me, how I got to navigate.
Woo!
You're more concerned about someone who's literally in their own mess, thinking about they concerned about your mess. They're literally worrying about your mess right now because they don't want to think about their mess, right? But you have made all these moves in your life.
Mm, mm,
You made all these moves in your life
mm.
to appease somebody else who's literally going through their own mess. You just can't see it. You know, I just that's why you just gotta keep moving forward. So when I sit here today and I tell you, I don't worry about what people say about me. When I say I give zero cares, um, I don't. What I do care about is making sure that I am constantly moving towards the mark, of where I know that God is, where God has, and I don't know where He's gonna take me. Everybody has all these big dreams for me.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going, but what I
I
do
got some
know
big dreams for you too, President Chris V. Ray.
you know,
Everybody's cheering you on behind the scenes, even whether you know them personally or not. I know I had the opportunity of meeting you at Bishop Jenright's church when you spoke, and I sat beside you. I was like, now this right here is a special young man. I don't know how young you are. I feel like I'm older than you.
listen, I feel like the older I get, the younger I get. Because every time I tell somebody, baby, you're just a baby. I'm like, wait a minute now. I mean, I ain't 50 yet, but I'm almost there. I'm almost there. To be like,
But I'm proud of you. And even in not even knowing you at that level, just if anybody's ever in your presence, and this is what I'll say to everybody, if you ever get the opportunity to be in Chris V. Ray's presence, you're gonna feel a connection as if you are his best friend and he doesn't even know you. That's a big deal for somebody to feel like that when they're just sitting next to you in a moment in time.
that's the God in me.
That is.
That's the
That
God.
really.
And I don't want to apologetic. Everybody, I love God because I know I'm here because of God. I don't care all the crazy stuff I've done in my life or whatever I've gone through. And I went back and I repent and I said, Lord, I need to do better. I got to please don't leave me here the side of the road. That's
Right.
God. That's the God in me.
The God in you. And when you recognize that you are not your own, that changes everything. As far as every role that you're in, you act very differently because you're not representing yourself.
Huh? That part.
Yeah.
That part. Yep.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep on moving. I feel like you know what? I really wanted people to get a chance to know you. We always know about a person's titles and what they do in the earth, but what about the person that's behind all of the titles? So that's really what I wanted this opportunity for us to have our discussion. You can come back on the Kim Jacobs Show and talk about any area of life that you choose.
Right.
But I really wanted people to just unmask Chris V. Ray today. That's really what I wanted.
Okay. I'm here. I'm unmasked.
You're doing it. Listen, I think also it's important to just talk from the perspective of when you're balancing all of the roles and responsibilities, you have some people behind the scenes that's also under the iceberg pushing you up. And I believe that is family. So feel free to just talk about from whatever angle you would like about how important it is to have family, faith, and leadership kind of merging together.
I will tell you, number one, it's not easy, right? When you truly have been tapped to lead people, it is truly a sacrifice. And your partner has to understand. Your family got to understand, and it's not because it's something that you could stop if you want to. This is me breathing.
That's right.
This is me breathing. This is the air I'm breathing. This is the God that's in me that has said this is your assignment. And so I would say throughout my life, my family has been they've endured a lot. They have had to share Chris with the world.
The whole world.
And it's not easy. Some would say, well, it's not fair, but I also know that these are my assignments. And but this is what I do though, because I think this is where the balance comes in.
Yes.
I tell my kids this all the time. Now, number one, I'll tell them. Now, this is me making fun, so I don't want people to take this the wrong way. But there's
So you have a comedic side to you too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now, absolutely. Like I tell my kids, I say, hey, look, your daddy's famous. Now, you don't got to be famous. You don't got to be famous. You don't have to be famous. I want you to be famous if you want to be famous. But I'm gonna do me. I got mine. Now you got to go and get yours. And what yours is may not be, like you have some parents that will say, well, baby, I want you to do better than what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't want my child out on the road. I don't want them to be homeless. I don't want them, to be out there, if they don't need be. I don't want that for my child, right? But if my child decides that they want to live a quiet, simple life on the coast of wherever, and that's success for them, right?
That's good.
And
That's
that's
good.
okay. And as long as they can pay their bills and they don't call me for for no money, that is success. That is all the way success, right?
Right, right.
That is all the way success.
That's
You
funny.
don't have to be Googleable. You don't have to be some famous. You don't now your daddy was the mayor. Now you need to be a U.S. senator.
Right, right.
I don't know because that may not because this is what I do know. God has created everyone for their own path of life, and so you as a parent
That's good.
or you as a sibling or a friend, you got to know that your friend or your the person you're connected with, that their path isn't your path. And their path doesn't require them to be the president of a college, the president of an MPHC, of a Divine Nine organization, the mayor of a city. Their path doesn't require that.
That's
Their
good.
path may require them to be the person who owns the plumbing company. And we want to thank the person who owns the plumbing company,
Yes.
right? That may be what their path is, and they will still be doing well. They still will be impacting lives.
Right.
You have to be comfortable with who, God has set you out to be once you have
That's
found
good.
out. And I don't put that kind of pressure on my family because, this is who I am.
Well, I intentionally, just so you know, because I do know that you are world famous, I intentionally did not pop everybody up on the screen right now, just because people will be like, hey, why don't you put the family up? Don't worry about all of that. The thing is, I wanted to make sure that I give you space to talk about the family, but then also be respectful of the fact that when you're out there and you're a public figure, exactly what you just said, I thought you were going to say. And so I just wanted to be respectful
Yeah.
and
And
mindful of that.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that because, they do have their own lives. And, sometimes they'll say to me like, oh, my friends, they found you on Google and they're following you on Instagram and they're just like, gosh, Dad. I'm like, why, that's not my fault.
It's right. It's like, this
You know,
is what
but
God is
you know,
ordained
but
me
I
to do.
but I do everything that I can to protect them,
Mhm.
um, because that's important. So,
Yes.
and that's all of it. That's all of it.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the direction that you're going in and the fact that you're in, and not like you need my endorsement or anything, but I love the fact that you're saying be whoever God created you to be, and that's perfectly fine. It does not have to be that you're following in my
Right.
footsteps
That's
in
right.
order for you to be considered great.
Yeah.
Because what greatness looks like for me, it may be totally different as to what greatness looks like for you. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, this is a good conversation, y'all. I hope you all are benefiting from it. I see a lot of you all over on Instagram as well, and I may not get to see everybody's names. I see you, Sadie Jones. I see you, Q Paradise, S Kinsey. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm just gonna not even start reading because
Hey
I'll be done said all your nicknames.
y'all. Hey y'all.
But what I will tell you guys is that you definitely can also catch any of the things that's happening here on the Kim Jacobs Show on CTR Media Network. If you haven't downloaded the app over on Roku and Fire TV, Android TV, you'll be able to see this episode and other episodes as well. We now stream in 140 countries and over 350 million households thanks to CTR Media Network. We're under the self-improvement channel, and thanks to your viewership, we have been able to be number 5 as far as the viewership over there. So whatever y'all are doing, keep doing it. Thank you for your support.
Love it.
Listen, when I think about the fact that you served in Iraq and Afghanistan, again, these are things that we can't just brush over. You did, and then you retired after 22 years of dedicated service. How has your military background influenced even the way that you lead today as the president at Barber-Scotia College?
Oh man, let me tell you. Um, so what I've learned about you know being in higher education, it can be very glass towerish.
Right.
You know, but when you take a group of soldiers to the desert,
Mm.
you get a different perspective about life and leadership and connecting with people and where you are. Even though the chain of command matters, um, I don't take myself so seriously because I know that in the instant I could be gone.
Mm.
Right. Um, And I think that that experience of how precious life is and how preparation is truly the key
Mm.
to whatever the abundance is that you have been assigned. You got to be prepared. And nothing prepares you more than when you get ready to go to war, making sure you know, you check, you double check, you triple check, and you check one more time before you execute anything that is supposed to happen.
Right.
You take that, that learning, that experience with you when you come to an organization like this, because there's a lot of checking and double checking we have to do.
And you literally have to have your brothers back. I'm going to put this image up because it just
Yeah, yeah,
reminds me.
yeah. Teamwork is critical, and I will tell you, in this experience here, I had to build a team.
Mm.
The success that Barber-Scotia is experiencing right now is because of um, the team concept and me building a team that they got my back, I got theirs, and they're laser focused on one mission, and that's to get this college accredited.
Mm.
Plain and simple as that. You can't teach that. I just know how important every one of my team has to be, and how they all have to be trained properly, and they have to step up in such a way in order to execute what it is that we need to execute. And they got to see the bigger picture and the mission, and they got to have the buy-in, and they got to know what we're doing, and that's leadership.
That's right. That's right. And being in this role with Barber-Scotia College, I was trying to deep dive into just some of the history, but I think it probably come better from you. But I know that it's the second oldest historically Black college in North Carolina, 17th oldest in America. And I was looking through the timeline of how this whole thing evolved. Would you like to just, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you want to
Oh
talk
yeah,
how that?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, Barber-Scotia is 158 years old. It was the first institution founded in the South to educate Black women after slavery. I mean, so before there was Spelman, before that there was Scotia Seminary in Concord, North Carolina. And Luke Dorland, the first president of this institution, would go to the fields and find Black women and say, "There's a place where we will educate you. Come, be educated, and and change the trajectory of your family." This was like 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
This is new. And so you think about the skepticism of 1867 and folks, taking that path, but the reality is that they did, and then you fast forward. In 2004, unfortunately, the college, lost its accreditation.
Right.
For 21 years, we've been trying to find our way back. Now, what is extraordinary
Mm.
about Barber-Scotia College is that the doors never closed.
Right.
There was always at least one student, or at least one. So it lets you know that the prayers that has happened on these grounds were strong enough to sustain the college, even while we were in our desert period. Right?
So prayers make a difference. The prayers of the righteous literally availeth much. Don't
Absolutely.
know how it's all going to play out, but
That's right.
is this present?
I always tell people, man, my grandmother, she's no longer with us, but if you don't think that her prayers are still sustaining me today, right? I mean, them things are still making their way to heaven, and then God is still coming and smiling back down on me and blessing me, and somebody thousands of years ago along this family line, right? Because the word says, who God bless, no one can curse, and who God curse, no one can bless, right?
That's right. That's right.
So when I think about the journey that I've been on, this ain't nothing but blessings. But what I do know is that somebody did something right a long, long time ago, and that blessing is still running in this line right here, right? I know that for a fact. There's no question about it. And so when I think about Barber-Scotia and the mere fact that it's still here, that means there was a lot of prayers on these grounds. And so it's just that, and I want to thank, I acknowledge all the leaders in between
Yes.
when we lost our accreditation in '04 and to where we are today,
Mm.
because some way, somehow they did their part. They,
That's right.
you know, every board of trustee member, every
Mhm.
alumni, every person who sent a check,
That's right.
everything mattered.
Mm.
And then in 2003, on July 17th, I got the keys to the institution, and we ain't looked back since, right?
Oh,
And so the what it was, but I know that I couldn't do it,
right.
and not the people who, you know. So even though they're, um, in the eyes of some people, their work did not look plenty. But the mere fact that we're still here means that every move that they made, every step that they made mattered for
Yes.
July the 17th, 2023 to happen.
Mm.
And once
Mhm.
I got the keys, and understood what the assignment was,
Woo!
so we went from no students to 100 plus students, right?
Us.
And where we're going now, I mean, I know there's some people in the community that's like, oh, we didn't think that was going to happen.
Mm.
But the reality is that it did because it was supposed to, and that's all God, all God, all God. I'm
That's
just
why. That's
man.
why I put this picture up on purpose, because I was like, for this picture is, in my opinion, symbolic of the fact that you cannot put somebody in a box and determine what the outcome of their destiny is going. You're gonna have me crying, Chris V. Ray. You sure that preaching is not in your future? Because that might be one of the other things. Military, teacher, athlete, mayor, preacher, because God is really using you as a vehicle for change, and you're changing things from the inside out. It makes a huge difference when people
Huge.
just say, "Oh, I don't believe in this. I don't agree with that. I'm leaving."
Oh
No,
yeah.
you're changing things from the inside out. And when I saw this picture, I don't even this. That's what it just spoke to in my spirit when I saw this picture.
Well, listen. Let me tell you why that picture is super special. Right. That's the chancellor of East Carolina University.
Mm.
Right. East Carolina University is where I went to. Where I went to college at. They were the ones who gave me a chance. The coach came, sat in my living room, and said, we're gonna give him a full scholarship to go to college. It was East Carolina that gave, I could officially say that I was the first person to go to college in my family. That was the institution. And then to be a president, standing next to the president of the institution that gave me a chance. Come on, man. Come on, man.
And I didn't even know, boy.
Come on.
I want to
Come
call you
on.
boy. I'm like, I had no idea that
Come
that
on.
was the story behind this picture. I
Yeah.
just saw this picture and
Yeah.
it's
I went to the investiture service of Dr. Kerry Dixon over at North Carolina Central. And the president of ECU was there, and I went to him and introduced myself and told him how I was a pirate, and but it's all the symbolism behind the fact that it was that school that gave me the opportunity I needed. 'Cause my grandmother was like, we don't have no money. You got to go to school somehow. I wanted to deep down inside, I wanted to go to an HBCU as an undergrad, but I had to go where whoever's going to give me the money. And and at the time, East Carolina offered the full ride, and I went. And so to stand next to the president as a president, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't.
This is literally, I'm not making
Yeah,
this up. I just was looking online and I saw this
you
picture.
can't make this stuff up.
Wow. This interview, I don't know how you feel about this interview versus others that you've had, but I just hope that it's really opening up some good memories.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It
I
really
see you
is.
leaning in. And I wore blue, by the way, even though I am
Yeah.
a Delta Sigma Theta
That's all.
sorority.
I see the red. I see the red. I see that red chair back there. I see that red.
Yeah, I'm really, Delta Sigma
I,
Theta,
I got you.
but I understand. I was trying to, honor you today with the
Thank
blue.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, wow. Okay, so that was just one picture. I'm going to pull up another picture and see what this might speak to.
Oh,
So there's a new book that you've been a part of. Talk to us about that as well.
Yes. Yeah. So Dr. Danielle Green and Dr. Kelly Dixon reached out to me and asked if I would collaborate with them on this book about disruptive leadership.
Hmm.
And they was like, you're a disruptor. You've been every space that you've gone into. And
Yes.
what I love about the book is that sometimes when people hear disruptive leader, you're thinking it's all negative.
Mm.
This book teaches you that disruptive leadership is necessary, but there are qualities that you have to recognize in a
Right.
disruptive leader, that allows you to see how the disruption is actually allows for progression,
Hmm.
and that it's needed. But what are the qualities that is needed to be and considered a disruptive leader? So I thought it was fascinating. Of course, I had to be a part of it, and because of that opportunity, now I've had a couple of other folks who have asked me to collaborate with them on some books. So we'll see where this goes. Look, I am open. I'm open to
There's
whatever
no
God.
limit. There's no
There's no
limit to what President Chris
man.
D. Ray is going to. You might think that you know what his future looks like, but really, it's really unlimited possibilities.
And I want people, and this, I think if anything, I want people when they see me or they think about me or they think about what they want to do, I want them to be able to. I want to be that example in life, man. That like whenever the good Lord calls me home to glory, and I'm hoping to be about 106. I'll put that out
Okay,
there.
okay. You got your
106, about 106 is what I'm trying to be at, right? But
okay.
I want people to say, man, this dude right here used everything that was given to him, everything that was given to him before he closed his eyes.
Mhm.
Because, the word says, all things pass away,
That's right.
all things, right? And so you cannot be doing all of these blessings, all these things whatever your assignment is, only God can choose specific individuals that will be remembered forever. You literally have people who are trying to be remembered forever, right?
Hmm.
All things pass away, which means that at some point in the history of the world, they will stop saying your name. At some point, long after, there will come a time when no one will say your name ever again, right? Because all things pass away. So why not, when you have the opportunity, do what you got to do now?
Yes.
Do what you got to do now, right? Don't be worrying about, well, if I'm trying to build now building legacy in terms of, yes, I want to leave a financial future and do all this. I don't want to be, when I get to 106, I'm trying to make sure I can afford it, because I ain't laying nothing to these kids. I don't know what they gonna do with their life. They may all want to play the banjo on the side of the road, and that ain't gonna help me, right? That ain't gonna help me. So I got to work hard to make sure I have a little something for have my nurses take care of me, just in case,
They got you. Don't worry. They gonna have you. They gonna have you.
I don't know. So just in case, right? But the thing is that you got to make sure that you are doing the work now,
That's
and
right.
that you be focused on the now. Don't be focused on trying to be remembered. People who try to focus on trying to be remembered normally are the ones who be messing it up. Because you ain't trying to do this work. You ain't, first of all, you ain't doing the work. You're not doing the work for the right reasons, because you trying to be remembered. Let me tell you something.
Woo!
If I'm remembered, great. If I'm not remembered, great. You know what? But the work that I'm doing right now is impacting the lives of the people right now. I was on the steps with a couple of young men, this morning, some of the student athletes, and they were just saying how grateful they were to be here, and how their lives have just changed. Now, let me tell you something. They'll remember President Ray, right?
Yes,
They'll remember President Ray.
they will.
And they may or they may not tell their children about President Ray.
Mm-hmm.
But their children will not understand when they walk across the stage and they have that degree, and their father goes off and gets a job and has the capacity to send them to band camp and do all of it. Will have all started from sitting on the stairs. That 6 months ago, there were no students that had the ability to sit on the stairs at this institution.
Come through, God.
Right? So you got to be focused on the now, not that the fact that because there will come a time where those kids will be enjoying going to band camp and not know that it was a time when their father struggled on the stairs to try to come to a college that, that gave him a chance.
Mm, mm, mm.
That's why you got to be focused on the now.
Focus on the now.
Focus
Somebody
on the
type that. Focus on the now.
Focus
I
on the
typed that in the comments section here.
Yeah, yeah. We too busy trying to be remembered when when you need to be doing the work right now.
Do the work now. Don't focus on trying to be remembered, because that may or may not happen. But just focus on what you can.
I guarantee you that it's not going to happen. I can about guarantee you. I mean, think about how many founding fathers we have in just America, in the nation, right? I mean, there's just a few that you call the names of anyway, right? There was a whole room full of them, but there's only a few names we call. And, it's just focus on the now.
Well, one of the things that's going to happen, I don't know, this young man was interviewing you, and I screenshot this because I loved his interview. What's his name?
That interview went viral, actually. So many individuals hit me up about that, but that's my vision for the institution.
Building the largest online HBCU, because I know you're saying people may not remember, but everybody's going to remember Chris V. Ray. I can tell you that. So tell us about your vision of building the largest online HBCU.
Yeah. So, I think online instruction is the future. That's not even the future. It's the now. And I think that many of our HBCUs have been very slow to engage in it for a whole host of reasons, right? It requires infrastructure. You got to follow the right policies. You have to have the right team in place. When you're connected with the Department of Education, when it comes to continuing education online, their rules and restrictions are very, very serious. So you got to have the right team in place. And because we're already lacking in a lot of resources at many of our HBCUs, a lot of them don't invest in that. So they more focus on the more in-person, on the in-person engagement. The reality is that it is tough. And the reason why HBCUs struggle today, it's tough to run a college with 800 students, 500 students, 1,200 students, and you charging them $30,000 a year to go. I mean, that's tough. I don't think that should be the case. I think that we can still have an in-person cohort, right? Create the hybrid model. But, hear me when I say this today, that there will come a time where we're going to have 30,000 students online registered at Barber-Scotia College.
Just go ahead and speak it into existence.
I believe that with everything inside of me, because there is a market for it. There's a desire for it. And I believe that we could be a big part of it. And then the beautiful thing is, it doesn't have to just be us. I mean, I want to work with my other HBCU cohorts and counterparts, and we could, but you gotta move in that direction. And the beautiful thing about Barber-Scotia is that because we are starting from literally nothing, we can grow into that. So I don't want us to come back how we left.
Okay.
Because that. So I'm trying to take an institution that was founded in the 19th century, reimagine it in the 21st century, and leave all of our bad habits in the 20th century.
That's good. That's good. Leave all of our bad habits back there.
That's right.
Leave them back there.
Leave them.
Wow. So 30,000 students online is the goal. And one of the questions that just came in, I want to make sure I pop it up. Sean Hall. I don't know if you all are familiar with Sean. Do you know Sean Hall? If you don't, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. She's somebody to know. She's all road. Come on, what?
Come on, Sean Hall. Yeah.
Come through, Sean Hall, right? Sean Hall is with All Roads Education. And what she does is she actually helps young people get scholarships to colleges and universities, pretty much debt free, and she has a proven track record.
Yeah, that's what I want to do with Barber-Scotia. So we've lowered the cost, right? So to come to Barber-Scotia is $2,500 a semester.
Okay.
$5,000 a year. Because why? Because I do not believe that you should take a child or a student from rural anywhere or urban anywhere. You bring them to your institution. You tell them that I'm selling them the dream of this is the culture. You saddle them with a bunch of debt, and then you send them out into the world to go and be the best and brightest. But the job that they're getting doesn't correlate to the cost of the education that you just gave them. Right?
Right.
Because it goes back to what I said earlier. If God put inside of me to be a social worker,
Mm-hmm.
that's my life force. That's my life force. That's my job is to be to work with individuals. Well, the reality is social workers don't get paid. They don't get paid a lot of money. Let me just say they get paid. They get a paycheck. They need the service. But the
But that's
reality
all
is,
they do.
but then but you're not going in it to be like I'm about to be a millionaire
Of
here.
course.
But you graduate from a school that you got $40,000-$50,000 in debt, but you're getting paid $30,000, $35,000 at your job, right? Students like that shouldn't have debt when they graduate, because we need good social workers. We need good teachers. So what we need is affordable education, right? And the only way that you can have true affordable education is by, number one, not being greedy as an institution, right?
That's
Number one, not being greedy as an institution, but
Mhm.
increasing the volume, right?
Mhm.
I know that at HBCUs, we want to touch, and make sure that we taking care of our, I got to touch our students.
Right.
This market, we're in a nation of almost 400 million people,
Mm.
right? There's a group of people who don't want to be touched. They just want to learn.
That's
I
it.
want you to come to Barber-Scotia College for $5,000 a year.
Right.
That's what I want. And once we are
Mm.
accredited and we do have access to federal financial aid, now imagine being a student that may qualify for Pell. And now, because back in my day, you get your Pell, you get your scholarship, but you still had a little change in your pocket.
Mhm.
Today, they're getting whatever scholarship dollars they are from the school, got to give up all their Pell money and still get a bill and still got to take out a student loan, to make it happen. And the reality is that you can build a quality infrastructure. You can, even though you have volume. It can still be. Why you can do it? Because we
Why?
have a brain and we're smart.
That's right.
And if you truly care about people, you
Mhm.
can create an infrastructure that gives a quality education to online individuals and
Yes.
still have in-person instruction that is online. I mean, that's in-person instruction that's also quality. Quality isn't just in person, right? There's ways to do it. I don't have all the answers. Well, that's why you hire very, very smart people.
That's right.
That's how come you build a team.
Well, that's what one of the people on your team, I don't know, I'm not trying to be her agent or anything. Sean Hall, she helped my son get over $30,000 in scholarships. And I mean, all he had to do was just listen to what the woman was saying, meet the deadlines. And she's now working with my daughter, who's a senior in high school, straight A student. And I already know, I'm almost like relaxed, like, girl, Sean
That's
got you.
that's right. That's right. Well, Sean, I need to talk to you, Sean. I need to talk with you. Let's get together. You now work for Barber-Scotia College.
You heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I don't just bring on guests or
Now,
special guests. I
now,
give people some jobs.
she's over special projects and scholarships for Barber-Scotia College, and we just want to say thank you, Sean. Welcome to the team. Saber Pride.
All right, listen. She also said that in July that Pell is dropping
See
more,
what I'm
and
saying?
yeah,
See, that's
you know,
right. So that's even that lets you know right there that now that's even less resources that students are going to have, right? If you're going to be in this space, then be transformative in the space.
that's right.
Be transformative. And so I know this isn't going to be popular for everybody and people.
That's right.
But I know that's what we're doing here at Barber-Scotia College. We believe in affordable and accessible education. And I mean, and not as a talking point, right? That this is who we are,
That's
that
right.
we educate the world and we change our communities. That's what I want people to come in. I want us to educate the world, and I just want us to go back out and change our community.
That's good. So that's more like your vision, is to educate the world, change the community, and that's going to help with the resurgence of this historically Black college and everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I don't want us to lose the history of who we are, but I always want to make sure folks know, look, we're here to educate everybody, because there's poor Black kids, there's poor Hispanic kids, there's poor white kids, there's poor Asians. There are families that are still, generations. Here we are, 2025. The majority of my students that are here, they're still first generation college.
That's
2025.
2025, and the first ones to represent their family. This has to change. I mean, the trajectory of our history has to change, and it has to start with somebody. So thank God that you're opening up the doors to allow people to be their first within their family. I see Phyllis said, hey, Saber Pride, Saber Pride.
Oh, Phyllis, I love Phyllis. Let me tell you something. Phyllis plays no games. She's all about Barber-Scotia. I love her.
Well, we are so glad that you're in the studio audience, Phyllis. So glad to have you here today. I see a lot of you. I see SN Kinsey. I see QP Paradise. All of these. Sadie, I see all of y'all on Instagram, everywhere. I may not call your name, and I can tell you one thing that's happening is it's Sean H. Hall. Sean A. Hall is over here taking over the comment section.
I grew up on that campus. Oh, she grew up on our campus.
Her mom. Yeah, she went. One of the previous comments, she said something about her mom. I'm trying to manage this broadcast. Let's see.
See, look at you. You just all in it.
I'm doing the most over here. That's what I do, a training, just so y'all know, on teaching people how to start their own shows from scratch. And so it's very important that I believe that the whole world gets a chance to experience your gifts and talents. And if you are sincerely interested in starting your own show, make sure that you reach out to me. I do a 6-week training once per week. It's 5 students that I take, and everybody should unanimously agree that Chris V. Ray needs to have some kind of show, because we can't cram everything into this hour with him.
I've heard that a few times.
And you're very comfortable over there. So all you have to do is just let me train you and get you going, so you can have a way for people to stay connected with you.
Okay. All right. I might have to take you up on that. I'm serious. I might have to take you up on that.
And you can get 10% off just saying that you heard about the show.
I heard about the show, so I need my. I heard about the show, so you got 4 more students to go now, because I heard about it.
All right, y'all. Look, we're being silly over here, but at the end of the day, too, I do want you to know that this gentleman is the 36th International President of Phi Beta Sigma Incorporated. And what does that mean to you, to lead one of the largest, oldest historically Black fraternities? Not only are you leading a historically Black college, but historically Black fraternity as well.
Man, you could not have told me when I joined Phi Beta Sigma in 1996 that I would end up being the international president of the organization. I mean, when I say that you could not tell me in 1996 that, and this is the thing that's so special about this. We have initiated, well over 400,000 members. And out of that, only one individual served twice. Only now 36 individuals have served as national president out of 400,000 men.
Can you believe this? And you are one of them.
One of them.
God is like just, it's like he done just anointed you.
He's like, listen, if you ain't paying attention, boy, but when I say that it was truly the honor of my life to serve as international president of my brothers, because I really believe that when people come together, look at me there in the middle. Good Lord. Look at that.
Look at this. I mean, this right here, again, I went online and found all these pictures. When I saw this conclave, I said, look at Chris V. Ray.
Out here, just out here, man. But when I tell you that these brothers are, I fundamentally believe that people with brains could come together and make a difference. If you truly are genuine about making a difference. Yes. People got agendas, and I don't even know why you have an agenda. Unless the agenda is to make life better for somebody else. I don't even know what we're doing here, right?
Right.
But I remember when I ran for national president, and we talked about continuing the legacy. When I was national social action director, we had began the process of talking about building an affordable housing complex, and people kind of chuckled about it, like nobody building no affordable. Boy, we don't do it. Come on, man. And then as vice president, we took up steam, and then by the time I was president, next month, if everything goes right, we'll be closing on on the construction of a 4-story affordable housing apartment complex in Washington, D.C.
Get out of here.
And if the Brotherhood does it right, we will
Yes.
replicate this model in multiple cities across the country.
Mhm.
So now you're talking about creating a safe place for a family to be able to grow, to be nurtured, and then go out into the world and do whatever.
Mhm.
Because you first got to start with some good housing,
That's
safe
right.
housing, clean housing.
Mhm.
And I was a part of that.
Mm.
I mean, it's just, I think that it's just like, why not wake up in the morning and let's just do some big stuff, man.
Do something big.
Let's just do something big, because why? Because if you and me and another person get together, why can't we do this? But I think what has happened is that we are so focused on chasing the dollar, and we're so focused on, I just feel like, man, if you really just take care of God's children, man, He gonna keep on blessing you. You ain't gonna never be hungry.
That's so good, Chris. That's
You ain't,
so
gonna-
good.
you ain't gonna never be hungry. You just got to keep on just use the talents because literally He is giving you your talents for you to help others. They're not for you.
That's it.
They're not. What He has given you is not for you. They are literally for the world. Just like I told my students, your degree is not for you. Your degree is for the world.
Yes.
And so when people start waking up and understanding that we are literally all connected as human beings and that we have a responsibility and an obligation to support one another, is only when you will see the elevation in your life. So when people say, man, I can't believe you're doing this, I guess I go back, this is God.
This is God.
Because I recognize that the assignment, the gifts that He's given me is not for me. Is it a sacrifice? Yes. Right? Because it is easier to focus on me and me make this money and me take care of just my family. And that's very easy. When you talk about serving God's people, it's never easy. It's frustrating. It's long hours. It's, folk get on my nerves. But then I realize that this is my assignment. And
you said that with a little bit of extra. Folk get on my nerves.
Like on my nerves now. They do now. Sometimes they get on my nerves. They do get on my nerves.
But at the end of the day, you're making a difference. And here in the Brotherhood, I put this picture up too because I love it.
Yes. I love that. Oh my gosh, this is such a special picture. These are the brothers in Spring Lake, North Carolina, because that's where I was the mayor at. I activated the chapter there. And of course, I'm not in the chapter there anymore, but they were having an event and I went down there and, they were so gracious. They were so nice and they were so excited. And to watch the chapter still thriving. And let me tell you what's so beautiful. They have a Sigma Beta Club, which is our youth mentoring program that mentors boys from 8 to 18. Okay. And they just got recognized as Sigma Beta Club of the Year for the So once again, now I ain't even there. But my boys down in Spring Lake, North Carolina, is out there just giving them the whole business. I mean, mothers that are single moms that are raising, Black boys. My brothers are putting their arms around them and making sure that they're good to go. All because when I went back home to be the mayor, I said, I need to bring a chapter here.
And aren't you glad? God is just really putting some things in your spirit. And because you have said yes, you're just executing on everything that He's given.
And listen, and let me tell you how just powerful God is. Because I was obedient and I listened, right? The lives that are being impacted today is all because I was just obedient. I ain't even when we make the statement God has a plan, His plan was for another group of individuals. Because when I left there, we didn't have a Sigma Beta Club, right? When I left in 2017, we didn't have a Sigma Beta Club, but today they do. God knew that mother needed to have, some men to mentor her child,
right?
Long before that child was even born. When I started the chapter in 2011, so these boys weren't even born. They weren't even born yet.
Wow! But
God knew that what was God. That's why we say He's so dope.
He's so dope. I love it.
He's so dope, man. But this is how I live. This is just how I am.
You're getting all into my message on Sunday, just so you know. Because when you just said that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get him off this show because he's gonna start preaching and prophetically and stuff. Let me get President Chris B. Ray. Listen, I want to make sure that I let people know too that not only is he on the Kim Jacobs show today, but he is going to be one of our guest speakers on this Sunday coming up on September 21st. And it is Unity Sunday. So you can come and you can rep your organization, whatever fraternity, sorority of the Divine Nine that you may be affiliated with, Eastern Stars, Jack and Jill, top ladies of distinction. If you are in a soror, if you're at a college or university, you can just rep your HBCU, whatever it is that you want to do. Come on out on Unity Sunday. We are going to be at Promise Fellowship Church at Brownstone Signature Events, which is 12080 University City Boulevard in Harrisburg, North Carolina. We have hip hop gospel rap artist Greg H. Jackson he's the founder of Heal Charlotte. And we also have Dr. Sharonda Banks, the owner of Intentional Steps Services. And so we are excited about you coming out. What does unity mean to you?
Oh man, unity means two things for me. First of all, unity means power. I mean, if you're unified, oh man, I mean, that's a power far beyond what anyone could ever imagine or try to destroy. The second thing that unity means to me is progress. Because if you're unified, if you truly are unified, then we're able to move. Right. We're able to move. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand what unity is. Then you just talking.
That's talk.
And I don't believe in Hollywood talk. That's why, I mean, you
don't say not much about Hollywood because you might be on somebody's film one day because you got that acting capability. So
now you sound like a grandma. Yeah, but then my grandma's like, baby, you don't need to go to Hollywood. They the devil.
Mm-hmm. Oh Lord.
Yes, ma'am. And I never win.
That's funny. But grandma watching as one of your cloud of witnesses now. She's like, baby, I changed my mind because you might be able to go ahead and do some great things in Hollywood. Okay, y'all. Listen, make sure y'all join us. We will be at Promise Fellowship on Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. And it's in the Napa Auto Parts Plaza, a beautiful event venue space back there. And that's the Brownstone Signature Event. So this is the interior of where we were holding our service on this upcoming Sunday. So I'm excited about having Chris V. Ray there with us. All right. Also want to let you all know that we have the Gabe's Heart Foundation in honor of my son that transitioned from this earth due to sudden cardiac arrest. So my desire is to always make sure that we raise funds for defibrillators to be put in public spaces. So please have Barber-Scotia students and parents and staff. We have other high schools, sport organizations, churches, everybody come out. Please come out on October 18th at 8 a.m. We will have our 10th annual 5K walk. And it's again in honor of Gabriel Michael Jacobs, Gabe's Heart Foundation. We're going to be giving away a defibrillator, one that talks, so that you can have it in your organization. And we're asking everyone that will to just do a 1-minute video. And when you do that 1-minute video, make sure you tag at Gabe's Heart Foundation. When you tag us, we're going to see the video and we will be giving a defibrillator away at the event. It doesn't matter whether you're present or not, because sometimes it's like, well, dang, you have to be present. Some people are doing videos in Africa. It doesn't matter because this show is in 140 countries. Do a video, tag at Gabe's Heart Foundation, and we will see your video and we will be announcing the winner at the 5K walk. All right. Any extra comments you want to say? I see a lot of comments that came in. So let's see, come out, get your community service in. Grandma knew what she was talking about. You know what? Speaking of viral, this young lady also has some viral videos. She teaches so much about funding and scholarships and different opportunities. So you'll have somebody viral on your team because she's been doing a lot of viral TikTok stuff over there.
I love it. I love it.
See, come support the walk. I saw your mama worked somewhere. Jeremiah 29:11. Get it how you live it. You over there rapping, Sean. Okay, let's see.
I love her.
Okay, wait. What other final thing you said? You said, so I want to make sure I put the comment up about your mom, but I cannot find it. Good gracious. Black men leading well, Black men that are educated and serving. Come on, God. What about that vision? Yes, okay. My mom, here's the comment I wanted. My mom taught there in the 80s. That's what she said. Her mom
Wow.
taught at Barber-Scotia in the
Love
80s.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, that's all. That's all. That's a walk. Will Barber-Scotia participate in a walk run next month, building in community service? That's a question. Any question that she had. All right. Any closing comment from you? It's been so much that's been said. We got to bring it to closure.
Yeah, it was a lot. No, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Um, just to tell our story, what we have going on here at Barber-Scotia College. I love this institution. I'm looking forward to us being fully accredited one day. I look forward to us growing and being one of the leading institutions in this country. Um, and watching God do what He do. That's it. And I'm gonna keep on saying it loud and proud. And it's all. This is all God.
This is all God. And you're going to get to express that more on Unity Sunday. So come ready to just give a word that God has given you. And we're excited about hosting you at Promise Fellowship Church on Sunday. I believe you've expressed already how important your faith is. And that seems to be interwoven between everything that you're doing. So any comments about your faith that you want to share? I don't want to deprive you of that opportunity.
No, I love God.
You love God? You don't love God? How about you? You love God. All right, everybody. So based on everything that's been shared, I do hope that you all will take a moment to. The only way that Kim Jacobs, the host of the Kim Jacobs Show, is able to bring this level of quality programming into your home Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. is through community contributions. So just like you have TBN and CBN and PBS, all these different places, community members pour into their broadcast so that they can keep that programming alive. I'm asking you to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show today. If you haven't already, please take a moment. And we have audio podcast listeners on iHeartRadio, so that's why I say some of these things out. But paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. You can do Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show. You can even Zelle or Apple Cash using the phone number 704-962-7161. So I encourage you to partner with us and support us financially in order for us to continue to bringing balance to your household, right into your home every weekday at 11 o'clock a.m. All right, closing comment, Chris.
Just thank you. I'm excited. Can't wait to get my own show now since I'm, since we now. And then, so now I got a show and I got a new employee. This Kim Jacobs Show is a blessing, y'all. Get on it. Get it.
All right, everybody. All right. Tony Bennett and Morris Brown can do it. So can Scotia.
Hey, I know that's right, Sean Hall.
Y'all can have your own private meeting. Okay. Praise the Lord. Good evening to all of God's children. Tony Perkins, glad to have you. And all of you, whether I mentioned your name or not, my mom was on here and I dare not. My mom is in her 70s and she'd be like, now I know you. Wait, Jalen said Blue Phi.
Oh, you know. Yeah.
So I see some of your Phi Beta Sigma brothers on here. My mom was on here. Wait a minute. Stephen said, a true leader, I am honored to charge the hill with you, sir.
Oh, man, he is a great guy. Stephen Westbrook. That's a good man right there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to close without going back through. And I'm the only one over here working the podcast. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna miss somebody's comment. They're gonna be like, I know she saw my comment.
Oh, no.
The whole thing, people be texting me. But anyway, Mom, I saw your comment somewhere in here as well. Here, she said, focus on the now. My mom is Ellis Bradley. And I'm so honored to have my mom here on this earth with me, especially with so much death across the land. So I thank God that I'm able to have my mom with me here on this earth. All right. Did we go through everything you felt like we could go through in a given show? All right. I hope you had a great experience.
I did. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And how can people stay connected with you? And that's the final thing we'll say, and we're going to disconnect.
Social media, of course. I'm on Instagram. President_Ray, and that's REY. And then of course I got a Facebook page, just Chris Ray. Chris. Now I got a couple of pages out there, but Chris Ray, REY. Just search it. That's where you can find out all the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. And yes, Council of Presidents. Yes, I can't wait for that next week. I'll be turning over the chairmanship to the new president.
That's
Uh,
excellent. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that. I see Dr. Stacy Grant.
yeah,
So.
yeah. She will be the new incoming chairwoman, and I will
Chairwoman.
be on my way out the door. Thank you.
And let's add future preacher to your list, or future Hollywood, future something, but definitely future talk show host, right? We can add that.
Boom, boom. The Chris Ray show about to be out here.
Chris Ray Show. All right, everybody. You heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one house at a time. And guess what? Our lives have been truly enriched because of your presence today, Chris V. Ray, President Chris V. Ray. Let's give honor where honor is due. President Chris V. Ray. Thank you so much. And you have truly blessed my soul. I'm grateful. Thank you all in the studio audience, everybody on Instagram, iHeartRadio, Roku, everywhere, wherever y'all watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sean A. Hall, always showing up. I appreciate you. And looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Sharonda Banks on. She's going to be talking to us. Yes, you are in for a treat. She's going to be talking to us about reimagining resilience and how important it is for us to think differently about resilience. I cannot wait to host her tomorrow. See you all 11 o'clock a.m. right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. God bless you all. Bye. I said pastor. See? Pastor. Ooh, we're going to hang up on this note, y'all. Bye, Pastor. Pastor, President. Okay. God bless you, saints. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.